Far from here, there's talk of presidents meeting to thrash out peace. But every burning building across Ukraine reminds that war is the reality. 6 dead and dozens injured in drone, ballistic and cruise missile attacks overnight. The future of this country is in peril. So too the lives of its future generations, rushed from damaged buildings as politicians here in Ukraine and in Russia ponder on an amended American peace proposal. For those clearing up after another attack in Kyiv, peace is a hope, not a reality.
I want peace. Every time there is shelling, people die. It's very scary. Of course, we want what is best for Ukraine, but we worry Russia is showing us they don't want peace with us.
Those conditions are preoccupying many here, as they are crucial in the short and long term.
My trust is in the Ukrainian diplomats, who will do everything necessary, and in the Ukrainian army, and we will not surrender to anyone.
There is a desperation for peace here, a wish that when they go to bed at night, they have some surety that they will get up in the morning. But there is also great worry that a bad peace is bad for this country at the end of this dreadful war. This is the land to the east which will be critical to any deal. How much will Ukraine cede to Russia? How much does Russia want? And what of Ukraine's armed forces? Russia wants to see a big reduction. Ukraine will only reduce so far, and then with security guarantees from other nations. President Trump tonight confirmed he's sending his envoy Steve Witkoff to meet with President Putin, from whom there's been no formal response.
I think we're getting very close to a deal. We'll find out. I thought that one would have been gone quicker. We did 8. I thought that would have been an easier one, but I think we're making progress.
Thank you very much. I suggest to start.
Ukraine's allies across Europe today summoned a video call for the coalition of the willing, anxious to ensure a deal that protects Ukraine's long-term security and Europe's.
I'm ready to meet with President Trump, and there are sensitive points to discuss. We have them still, and we think that the presence of European leaders could be helpful.
Those sensitive points are consequential for this country. President Trump doesn't rule out meeting Zelenskyy and/or Putin when he feels a deal is near. 3 men, 1 nation, and the future of millions. Emma Murphy, News at 10, Kyiv.
And we can speak now to both Emma in Kyiv and Robert in Washington on the prospects of peace in Ukraine. Robert, to you first. Are we any clearer on the timings of any face-to-face talks involving President Trump and either Zelenskyy or Putin?
Well, in the next few minutes, President Trump leaves the White House for Mar-a-Lago for his Thanksgiving break. But continuing is this wild week of diplomacy that we've seen in the last 7 days. You know, the talks in Kyiv, the talks in Geneva, the negotiations today in Abu Dhabi. And as you have been reporting, now President Trump is sending personal envoys to Kyiv and to Moscow. Certainly this morning there was this flurry of optimism, even speculation that Zelenskyy would fly directly to Mar-a-Lago to negotiate with Trump the final, most tricky elements of this peace plan. You know, the idea of territorial concessions and security guarantees and the size of the Ukrainian army. And then there might be some kind of theatrical Thanksgiving Day signing ceremony. I think that's receded now. The more that the European counter-proposals are integrated into the text of the peace plan, I think the more unpalatable it becomes to the Kremlin, and President Putin may well tonight be calculating he can gain more on the battlefield than he can at the negotiating table. So we're left with this prospect of another horrendous winter of fighting across the 800-mile front line, unless, that is, Donald Trump can pull out something of a diplomatic miracle in the coming days.
Robert in Washington, many thanks to you. And to Emma now. I mean, any progress on peace talks can only be positive, but in Kyiv tonight, does it feel like it's making any difference on the ground?
Well, there's certainly no sign of anything changing for anybody who lives in this country and who is trying to maintain some form of life here, because the attacks continue. The attacks continue not just on the front line, but also on the civilian population, on the energy infrastructure, on the things that basically make life work or make you feel safer when you're living your life, like knowing that you can go to bed in your own apartment and have a chance of waking up in the morning, which is something that's been denied to so many who've been caught in these strikes that have increased over the past few weeks. So there is no real sense of big change here, and I don't think there's any need for there to be either, because I don't think there's a huge change really coming. There's been an awful lot of talk, but that talk doesn't seem to be getting very far. And when you look at some of the leaked transcripts of the conversations that have gone on between representatives of Donald Trump and also the Russians, it's very clear this is a very, very transactional process. It's the kind of thing that will have had time-served diplomats really raising eyebrows and questioning how on earth there could be an attempt to settle a war as huge as this one and as entirely polarising as this one, with really people who don't have a background in that whole sphere of diplomacy. Now, maybe they will pull it off, but it doesn't feel entirely likely tonight. And I suspect President Trump doesn't think so either, because all that talk about the visit to America by Zelenskyy has gone away. And I think probably Russia are holding tight to their maximalist demands and thinking that they are going to probably do rather well out of this if they just sit tight and let everybody else dance around them.